Early life. A life story about John Muir. John Muir was born on April 21st, 1838 in Dunbar, Scotland. He spent most of his young life with his 7 brothers or his grandfather. He lived in a 4-story cobblestone house. His father was a hard and strong man. He made John work to clean the house. When he and his brothers went to bed, they would play under the covers, pretending to be pirates sailing the seas. Then in 1849, John Muir's family immigrated to Wisconsin, United States. Muir's family lived in a small house on a farm which he spent most of his time on. His dad made him work on the farm from dusk till dawn. When he was not working in the field, he walked through the forest and studied plant and animal life, as well as rocks, fields, and mountains. And when Muir was not walking about the forest, he was inventing things in his room. He made lots of wood clocks, an invention to wake him up in the morning. One day he decided to take his inventions to a fair in town to win many people's interest. He and his brother David were the oldest of 7 children his parents had. The boys shared a tiny bedroom with narrow walls. One night, one of the younger brothers dared John to run out the window and onto the roof, where when he did, he found something that made him fall in love with the sky: stars. Most nights his dad made a rule that the family would eat in silence to pray to the Lord for the great meal that was given to them by the land. John Muir's family did not have much and was struggling to make a living.
Middle life.
Later in Muir's life, he developed a passion to write books. He was encouraged by his family and friends to write books and stories about his life. He was starting to protest that there should be lands where all is free to walk on and not built on. Muir made many good friends, but a close relationship with a photographer named William Keith, who took pictures of his adventures. Muir studied his photos of landscapes and stuff that interested John. John has maintained that friendship for 38 years. As Muir got older, he had more and more of a love for nature, which sparked him to start writing more books. Then in 1861, the Civil War had broken out. John Muir did not believe in killing one another, so he moved to Canada in 1864 with one of his brothers. Together they worked at a sawmill where John had a bad accident where he almost lost his eyesight. After recovering, he started to go bigger and bolder journeys, like traveling 1,000 miles from Wisconsin to Kentucky. He was traveled light with a handful of tea bags, a waterproof sack, a few pairs of underwear, and a cup with a fork and a knife, a couple of good books, and the essentials: toiletries, and most important of all, a drawing pad and a leaf print. John went to the University of Wisconsin, where he studied until 1863. Then he went to settle in San Francisco, where he had the urge to make Yosemite a national park.
Later life.
After John Muir settled in San Francisco in 1868, he embarked on a mission to go to a small mountain town. He traveled to the Sierra Nevadas, where his eyes were filled with the colors of the mountain hills, wildflowers covering every square inch of the mountain. It was April 1868. John climbed to the top of Panco Pass to see the amazing sight of the Sierra Nevadas. After days of wandering through the mountains, he was running low on food and supplies. John eventually found a small mining town called Coulterville in the Sierra Foothills. After days, John Muir packed up and traveled back into the mountains, where he came to the giant saguaros. He was blown away by the beauty of the trees. In 1880, John Muir married Loie Wanda Zatrell and had 2 daughters, Wanda Muir Hannah and Helen Muir Funk. John Muir's family settled in Martinez, California, and ranched and farmed as a family. John Muir's family traveled to Japan, China, Australia, South America, and Africa, and many times to Alaska. Muir started to write books about nature, which eventually caught the attention of Theodore Roosevelt, the United States president at the time. Together they went camping in Yosemite in 1903. Muir made the president realize on how important it was to protect these places and keep them open for everyone to enjoy. John Muir established the Grand Canyon in 1903. John has provided evidence that our world would be ruined if people like him had not tried in protecting the wilderness. John Muir was a father figure to our national parks, and even then, we still destroy them. John Muir died on December 24th, 1914. I chose John Muir because he's an amazing man and paved the way to letting nature live on in the world we built up around it. Thank you for watching. This was made and presented to you by Gus.